We got 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order.
Approve the agenda.
Second.
Would you guys accept a change on the last one, consider action?
Yeah,
That should have been discussion.
okay.
We can't take action on that because they have to present in the public hearing, so
Yeah.
that will just change to a discussion.
Okay.
Are you amend the motion in a second?
Yeah, I will amend the motion to have it say consider discussion on setting salaries.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Michelle, you get drainage first.
Okay. First one's for the CNR Drainage District, an invoice to Bolton Bank Inc. in the amount of $5,507 for professional services. This was approved last week by Pot County already. And I sent the email to y'all for explanation.
Yeah, and it did have a breakdown in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it did.
Move to approve 5507 for the, to Bolton and Maine.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Second one is for the South Noble Lake Drainage District, also shared with Pot County to Bolton Bank for professional services in the amount of $245.
Make a motion to approve the payment to Bolton and Make for $245.
Just make sure I got my calendar, that meeting with Pot County.
Yep, the 24th at 9 a.m. They're working on the agenda now.
Yeah, I won't be there, so.
You guys don't have anything to add, correct? Okay.
Is John gonna be there for that?
I believe so.
Okay.
John will be, yeah. That's
Will
why,
anybody else be made aware of that? Like Don? Cole?
Yeah, I can call him, or if you call him.
Why don't you go ahead, since you're going down to it, so.
All right, Rebecca's made a motion,
Oh, second, I'm sorry.
pay this invoice. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
okay, thank you.
And if you have anything for that agenda, let Michelle know. She
Okay.
can get it.
Yeah, soon they're putting theirs together as soon as they finalize it. I'll throw ours out right after.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Next, we have department bank reconciliations. It matches.
She had the wrong sheets in last week. We got it fixed, we could have done it, but we didn't do it last week.
Sheila, I'm sorry I didn't see the note on my calendar, because I haven't ripped it off yet.
What? No, no, no.
Happy
Oh.
late birthday.
Any other reconciliations?
I think K9 is still coming.
Okay, when he gets here, we'll get him in. Consider approval for handwritten warrant for US Bank in the amount of $11,014. I haven't stamped it yet, but I did go through it this morning, gone through it.
So moved, 7,014.
Why is it so high? Do you know why it's so high? I see.
There's a lot, I mean, it's across several different departments.
Okay.
I
Some of
think
it-
some that, the sheriff's equipment is on
And I
there.
think VA had quite a bit in there, but that's reimbursement, so she had to purchase some things and get
Get
reimbursed.
reimbursed.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking through a few of them. Okay, make a motion to approve the handwritten warrant for US Bank in the amount of $11,014.
Didn't Tony already make a motion?
Oh.
You just need a second.
Sorry.
We're all second after you, yeah.
I'll second it. I did have a question on, because the amount on the credit card doesn't match this amount. It said 10,000 something.
It goes, we pay based off of how much they spent,
Okay,
not how much is showing.
on the statement?
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
You stay ahead of it.
right.
okay. All
Any
right.
other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion action on reopening application period for IT director.
Did that close, the actual
It
period?
closed on February 15th.
Okay.
Okay, I thought it was open until filled.
No, you said applications until February 15th.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind seeing it stay open until filled.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll move to.
Any
reopen.
other changes to it, or just as is?
No, I think we were getting good applicants.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move to reopen the application period for the IT director until filled.
Second,
Any further discussion?
do we also want to put something on there about they must fill out an application?
That's already part of it.
That's on it,
Yeah.
on it? Okay, all right, sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Funding request from Harrison County Humane Society.
You know, you're supposed to bring animals with you to really
They're,
get everybody's
they're in your
heartstrings.
car. They're in your car. Now you pass one around, so you get, there's enough for, I don't know how many seats you want to have where you can turn this one. Maybe David, you can find it. But it should be like a,
Just this?
there's 2 face sheets like this, and then maybe I'll pass them out just 'cause it's
Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just have it hand them down and then I'll just put it out. Yeah.
Is that my copy?
Yeah. These are guys, right? I don't know how many.
Maybe probably once.
Okay, I'll give you guys a second to look over that, and then I'll chat at you while you're kind of looking at it. Hello, this is Harrison County Humane Society. Thank you guys for having me today, letting me come and chat at you. And you know you're gonna have to cut me off because I'm gonna ramble about animals for hours. So here we go. Our 2080, we have been in existence for over 20 years now. Seems crazy because that's a big chunk of my life. So thank you for helping us along that far. But we've done a lot of the things that have been provided here, all the numbers for 2024 and 25. We included both because Dr. Johanna has been a big part of our trap neuter release and clinic pricing and stuff. So when she left Dunlap, it kind of left us a little bit in limbo. So if you'll just kind of, there's a big discrepancy in numbers there, but there's still a lot of animals in and out for 2 years. We have plenty of documentation, but that's just the past few years. As you know, it's been $1.52 per person per year for the whole time that we have been.
The whole 10 years or 20?
Well, yeah. And so we've never asked for an increase because we tried so hard to keep it being just, basic volunteer. And we do have 2 staff, which are amazing, and they do an amazing job. I'm so thankful for them. But as you know, meetings are so much fun, and we get to go to them all the time. And there's just so many hours in the day to provide meetings when kind of want to be home sometimes. So this kind of walks through a little bit of what we're hopeful for. We want to be able to add at least 1 person, just 1 full-time person to keep the doors open so animals can go, have people come in to see them as opposed, we get appointments all the time to drop animals off, but we don't get as many appointments set up to, come look at them. And I know that all of you guys make appointments to come in and see cats and pet them, right? No, that doesn't happen. You come in to drop stuff off, and then I say, but come look at this kitty, how cute is this? And then your wife comes home with the kitty, and then you're like, but I can't do that with the doors not open. So I just need to have at least one full-time employee or 2 part-time. So we can definitely chat about that. But this walks through our proposal of what we're asking. Let's see. We have both the pound side and the adoption side. I know sometimes people ask a little bit about that. I can briefly just say that the pound side is, we try to keep that as open as possible for the law enforcement to drop off animals in emergency situations, especially fires. And the most common, unfortunately, is when someone's went to jail and they have their dog with them. So they got to have kind of a hangout spot until they get back home or whatever. But so we try to keep that one as open as possible. Obviously, there's been dogs that have stayed right there for a while. Sometimes we keep them over 7 days if we don't know who they belong to or whatever. But after that, then they move next door. So when we're full, that means the adoption side is full. Try to keep that under empty because obviously law enforcement and emergencies, that's what a shelter is for. So again, it kind of goes through numbers and stuff, but for everybody else that kind of would be interested, we're asking for about $5 per person per year a day more. That way we can provide another person to help with TNR transfers and stuff as well, because it depends on the situation, but that ends up being well over 150 animals TNR, trap neuter release, in each of the towns that we do also. So of course they need a ride to and from the vet clinic, and everybody loves handling wet feral cats. So it's kind of a 2-person job sometimes, but I do a lot of it volunteer-wise. So I would love to have somebody that can help me get them to and from the vet clinic appropriately. But $5 a day per person, $5 per year per person is about, you can get a Subway sandwich for that anymore. So like, I don't know, that's really not too much. I know that you guys have a lot going on, and I understand there's so many requests out there, but we have on purpose not asked for money for a very long time, but I feel this is a necessary step for us board members to be able to concentrate on some of the bigger picture items. We would love to work more with law enforcement and county attorney to provide stiffer penalties for some of those people that move and leave their animals. I know that we live in a really wonderful community, and it doesn't seem like that happens, but it happens, and it's unfortunate because we feel like a lot of the times the situations that happen, if those people could be fined just a little bit more, then it would kind of take the relief off a lot of the people that really do need a shelter for going in the hospital, going into the nursing home. Those are all the big reasons that people definitely need to have a shelter, not just kind of got tired of my dog, or a cat threw down something, so I threw it outside, and those are the bulk things that we take care of quietly, and we just go about our business. And the fundraising is 100% of vet care. In the past, we'd have people say, I don't like cats. Great, well, we're fixing them, so we're trying our best to stop the cycle. But if you do like cats, then we're trying to provide a quality product to put in people's home without, for one, I don't know if you guys have noticed, distemper is like, you don't see that at all anymore. And that's 20 years of doing stuff like this. So when I started doing trap leader releases, I would see distemper so often in cat colonies, and on what we're not seeing it all. Like, it's there, it's around, but prevention is definitely key for a lot of that stuff. And we've had amazing experience with all of our vets in Harrison County. Those our brothers have been amazing, but they're also towards the end of retirement. So with Johanna coming back up in Woodbine, she took the bulk amount of our TNR and clinic animals. The clinic is like a low income for people in the community that are our animals, but we still provide all their services for $50. So then get them in, get them fixed, put them back out in the community without disease and spreading it for more babies. So I just need somebody to be at the shelter so we can still continue to provide all this stuff and breathe a little bit more. But do you have any questions for me?
Well, I looked at your budget here and
You smiled and said it's wonderful.
yes. But basically what you're asking for is you want every person in the county to pay an extra $3.48.
That is my hope. We have not asked for 20 years, so it was one of those, I watch a lot of videos and stuff too, so I understand you guys have a lot going on. This was based upon figuring if like a cost of living rates or whatever, so that's where that magic number came from. So if that's the amount, if we would went out a couple of years at a time, that's probably what it'd be. We are willing to visit with you about trying to come to like a happy medium somewhere, like we understand, but I also had some questions on our billing later too for after, if that was just some discrepancies, but I just wanted to check with you. That
You mean billing to us, you mean, or?
Yeah, yeah.
Make them apply
Is that,
to that?
can we do that afterwards? Is that okay, or does that have to be?
What, billing?
Yeah, just payment and billing. Can I do that afterwards, or do you?
I have some questions on
Absolutely.
billing. So do you charge each town individually?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So the rural would only be the 6,230
Stephanie?
The rule is,
for people, the number of people.
It'd be up to the individual community.
Yes.
Right.
6,330.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's
Harrison
per census.
County Board of Supervisors is not approving the 22,164 currently.
No.
We're approving 9,600.
Correct.
Correct.
So that's what you've approved in the past.
Yes, that's
At
the
$5,
past.
they would
Yeah,
give
that's based on the
$31,650.
How much?
31,650.
At $5 a person.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
But increase of 348.
Have you presented to the towns?
You're first on our stop,
Okay.
but yes, this has been, we've talked about it for a very long time, and like I said, that's why we tried so hard not to come, because I get it. I watch and I look at the minutes and stuff of the meetings. I know that there's not a lot of money to be had, but also we've done it this long, pretty much for free. When those numbers were brought up, it was for one building for the pound. So then obviously, when we went around and asked every town and the county how many strays they have per year, in the very beginning, it was 2 to 3. Not real. That's what was written down in pencil by a little elderly person like 20 years ago. Real is that's why we brought the information. Like, it even shows like the Facebook in homes. I think the law enforcement training, was it 40 dogs, just dogs, cats, like we have different systems in place, because there's just not enough info on cats, but dogs wise, like, they, if you could imagine 2 to 3 a year is how we based it on all of the towns and county, that is absolutely not real. So then when we did the buying in stuff around, buying in the properties next to us to see if we could go on, there's an alley in between us, or I'm sorry, there's a driveway and an alley, so we cannot build over those. So we're like, the only option is to build another building, and that helps with, I don't know, like environmental stuff too, because like if you have sick animals in one building, obviously, and then healthy animals in the other, so. In the long run, you know, it seemed like a wonderful deal, but yes, then you have water and electricity and building maintenance and both, and that's all what the 2080 entails. You guys actually technically don't pay for any animal care whatsoever. It is pretty much just the building, the structures. Actually, we own the buildings and we purchase them in full, so it really is just to maintain the building and have a person to open the door to let people in to make sure they're not, unfortunately, it's not stealing, it's throwing animals in, and that's why we have to have the doors locked. Even just the other day, someone put a cat outside in a kennel, and it says all over the place, do not do that, but we can't help our numbers if people just put things there. So again, we have that agreement with the cops, and they have their code to get in, and they can come in any time, but when the public just drops off things, numbers wise, there's only enough space for what is provided, so anyway, but yeah, that increase is to provide assistance to take care of the animals in the building. I think 2024, we paid over 90,000 in vet care that we raised ourselves, and we also do grant work, which has provided vans and, you know, the building upkeep, kennels, the flooring, anytime anything needs like a big number to do, so we can keep that smaller amount in-house for water and electricity, so.
We also, I think it was 3 years ago, we funded the sheriff's
Yes,
department an extra
correct.
20,000
Yes.
to kind of run this thing, you know, so someone could bring them to you.
Not this thing. It is, well, it's animals
pick
that are
them up.
not inside, it's to help the community.
Yes.
For us personally, that, once the animals are with us, that's when our stuff starts. But that was the phone calls that we would get of like an animal in the road and we would be at work. So like, yes, absolutely, but it's a different entity, but yes, it is a dog or a cat,
Mhm.
but it's for their protection, just like any community.
We were just trying to formalize it more, I think.
That's okay, correct.
I mean, that's what we were
Yeah.
doing.
Correct. When you say you guys, it's not quiet, so we did that part. Dogs, yes. More questions?
Where does this 9,621 come from now? Megan?
Rural basic.
It has to. If the towns are paying in, we can't put that in the general, because that's a double tax.
Right.
You have to, she's gonna have to go see every town.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just had
Yeah,
a question. I'm so sorry. It was just regarding the payment for last time. You're not showing that we got it, so I just wondered if that was by.
Yeah, it just got sent in this morning.
Oh,
I just got an email about it.
Well,
Well, it was emailed last
Yeah.
April.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
we can't
emailed
issue
last-
it till July though, so when it was sent in April, that was, yeah.
Okay, perfect. We just wanted to make, thank you for clarifying. I appreciate it.
So you'll be getting another one for this next fiscal year too.
Yeah, in July of 2026.
It'll be due July 1st of 2026. This is the payment that was due last year in July.
Right, well, we can't issue it until after July 1st. If it's for the July fiscal year for 27, it has to be issued after July 1st.
So you're gonna double up in July?
No, we'll be issuing one now
Oh, okay,
for
gotcha.
this fiscal year, and then one in July of 26 for next.
Yeah,
fiscal
I'm just
year.
concerned with the one that was for 25-26 period, the July 25 to June 30th of
26.
26.
Yep, so that one's
is the
getting
payment.
issued now.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying. That's why I was like, it's an after-school program. Thank you very much.
I certainly appreciate your presentation. I don't know if we can do that much, but we can definitely have the information to look over and we can make a decision.
You wanna just put that with the general budget discussion, or?
Unless you guys have, I mean, this is a funding request, this isn't an action.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I take the request and review it, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, we have a lot to go through, a lot of thinking on this one. Explain to me again, your donations fund one part, your
Correct.
taxes fund.
Yes, thank you for, yeah, I can clarify again on that, but, So the 2080 is just for water, electricity, building maintenance, anything inside or pertaining to, yes, the vehicle, that kind of stuff, like upkeep on the vehicle. The vehicle itself was grant money, but, gas and, just having it checked with the bill across the street or whatever, but that kind of stuff. I think we can probably put scooping snow in there. We always get kind of nervous on how to do that stuff, but anyway, yes. And dog food, anything to do medically, all of that stuff is fundraised, because in the very beginning, obviously, there's two kinds of people. It's the, I don't want all my money going into one cat, that's ridiculous. And there's the, I will give everything I have to make sure this cat lives. We are in no suffering shelter. The difference being we do not euthanize for space. We euthanize when a vet says that, again, it's too sick or too, can't live in society. So that's why we do the feral, as you know, the feral kitties, because they provide a service. They're not, as long as they're not overpopulating and spreading diseases, which obviously we stop that, then they are getting rid of rats and mice. And that is the cheapest, most healthy pest control there is, you know. And obviously, there's a cycle of life, and you do it all over again. But then in each town, that obviously we put community cats back. So then it's supposed to stop the population. But when people don't stick with the program, that's obviously how it gets overran, and it's super frustrating for us too. But medically, vets in the past have sometimes, like with Johanna in particular, she's been excited to try new surgery. So she'll be like, I'll do this at cost, and you have to pay for obviously like anesthesia and medication, which is the expensive parts anyway. So she has, you know, they've all done wonderful with that, but her in particular, being kind of younger, she was kind of upcoming and wanting to do a lot of big ones, and so some of those were pretty costly normally, but for us they were a little bit cheaper. But the regular day-to-day stuff, medicines, obviously when animals come in, one of the big ones right now that we've seen a lot of is mange. Mange is usually fairly-ish okay to treat, like expense-wise, it's just a time thing, but some of the animals that have been gifted upon us through strays. One of the dogs that we have currently, we've had since March because she was not healthy enough to fix. And again, if a dog is not showing any signs of aggression or any of those things, they don't get put down for space. So when you start out with a treatment, just like anything, like a car, like a house, you start putting money into something and you're like, oh, okay, well this seems reasonable. And then months go by, and then hormones and things, and it all kind of works against each other in science, and sometimes we do get a second opinion just to see if they have better ideas or ways to make it work. And that one dog has ended up costing over $5,000, but it was a stray that came in, and then that person also was a breeder. But those are things we would love to visit with later on in life, to be able to enforce things, not ourselves, but help with the guidelines to have stiffer penalties for people that are not taking care of their animals, because that makes it hard on everybody. Obviously, a dog sitting in a kennel for that long, which she's in foster care, she's not technically taking up space, but she is, she's part of the big problem, and those are the things that we want to work alongside, like say, law enforcement, county attorney, to provide them with a nice black and white plan that is more county and city based together. And as you know, there's a lot of them that are, well, this town says this and this county rule says this, but then if you put it all together and operate off of Iowa code, but then put in little things that help them be able to write citations easier.
Stephanie, what's the county population?
6,330.
And that was in 2020?
That was as of the 2020 census, when the numbers, yeah, that's the only time the numbers changed, was when I changed the population numbers.
6,320.
So some towns went down, some towns went up a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been $1.52 since the very
It's a
beginning.
$22,000 difference.
Okay.
$22,028.50.
I just need you by me person.
Megan, where are we at as far as publishing the tax rate? Are we late to the table with this? We still have time to discuss it. Okay. And you do have a fundraiser coming up March 29th.
I don't know about the name.
Spaghetti.
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 Well, litter in the rough for the golf tournament's nice too.
Mhm.
Hogs
That's
for
from
dogs.
11:30 to 2.
And you'll come and bring your kids and buy raffle tickets and all that kind of stuff, and otherwise I'll bring you a cake and you love them.
Everybody gets a free kitty, huh?
Absolutely, well, no, you got to pay for it, I think you got money.
My question is, you said you only use the donations for the animals.
Mhm.
And is that because, why is that, I guess I should say?
I guess it depends on how you're wording, like, if you took that out of something else, and I'm trying to think of, like, you say only the donations for you, so like, if you're thinking food and stuff, maybe, we do provide it, if people call and say they can't afford food, we work with them on it. If there's situations where it's not just like a week or a month or a couple of months, where it gets to be beyond that, something has happened and maybe they have some life issues, and sometimes if I can talk with them through it, a lot of times that is a sense of relief to know that we're safe, and we can let go of some of them, and then we can work with them like one at a time. If it's a hoarding situation, that's another biggie. But yes, we can provide stuff for people in their homes also. We do get requests for that, I would say at least once a month probably, and like I said, we work with them to make sure that it's not a huge problem of like, sometimes life happens and that stuff, yes, absolutely, we share with that kind of stuff.
But as far as the donations don't ever go towards someone, your part-time or your,
It's, again,
Salary.
we always,
Well, the 28E is what pays the salaries, but when we're not getting enough money, obviously our fundraising money has to go in and help fund that part.
in the 2080, I believe
Otherwise
it.
it'd be very deep in the
Yes, it
hole.
wouldn't, yeah, so we always say we operate off of love, and we have for years, which obviously, if you've talked to me for 3 seconds, you know where that is very real.
We do have 2
but-
employees, but they're very part-time, both of them. Yeah, they're not full-time employees.
Yes, it's pretty much mornings where we can't obviously take from our jobs, and, I used to have to take days off to transport the TNR cats to and from and stuff, so it's come to the point in my life where I'm like, okay, not only can I take away from my money, but I have to be able to breathe and have it be functionable if something happens to me. Like, obviously, it's my passion, but it shouldn't be dependent upon that. It should be able to be, a regular operating business without one person that says, but wait, and can I have this, and can I, it should be, if there's animals there in the buildings that are provided by the towns and the county, there should be someone there to physically open the door to take in donations, because like I say, we get stuff dropped off all the time, which all that little stuff helps a ton, because then, free dog food and stuff, obviously that can give us free money for vet care. So donation stuff, like I say, is different than the 2080, so we're very cautious on making sure that stuff is.
Well, I think you guys have done a fantastic job, and we certainly will look at it. We do the best we can. That's fair enough?
And
Yeah,
then when will we
um,
kind of know-ish?
I don't know, can you give me information, and I don't know if the other two want it, on what other counties do?
Well, Brian, I've done some homework in the past too, and it really depends. I've done this several times of shadowing and asking a million questions, and they ask me. So I'm not, they're wonderful. We do a lot of shadowing and trading ideas and stuff, but, most places have staff, like full-time staff. We're
And I
the
get
only one that I
lots of
definitely know
Omaha's,
of.
ones
Oh,
with
absolutely.
the-
But
That's
even
a
Blair
Blair
has eight
Yeah.
staff.
Yeah, Blair's got money.
I know, but,
Well,
I mean,
I think Shelby County has something, and Crawford does too, I believe. Shelby County, I don't know about Crawford.
there's,
She sighed when you said that.
Maybe I'm
you
in.
can definitely make phone calls and have, because, again, I can't speak on behalf of what other people do, but I can say anyone going into animal rescue starts with obviously heart and passion, but somebody that sticks with us, these ladies have been, this is Brittany and Stephanie, and they've both been with me for 14, years. And that's insane amount of meetings and hours of, as you folks know.
A lot of times when we make decisions like this, we look at comparables, so
Mhm.
comparable sized counties.
Absolutely, yes, definitely do that, because like I said, I've done my homework with that stuff too, that it's,
I mean, specifically, look at Southwest Iowa, Fremont, Page Mills,
Mhm.
all those, that we kind of similar to.
yes, and I know, like, when we were speaking about animal control, in the past, I did a lot of shadowing for that part too, because it's such a technicality, because our stuff is on our property, so if something would happen with a dog, like out in the middle of nowhere where you're picking it up, and it's different insurance stuff, so then like with that, it was under, Pot County had it under, public health, I think it was, or, something like that.
that's right.
Yeah, it's different there, but again, everybody does things differently, and everybody has their ways, but, obviously, yes, you have to fit it more rural. When we learned how to do a lot of our numbers and stuff, like, so we based it upon what was said in these meetings, and we were very wrong by doing that, because everybody said 2 to 3, and that is insanely wrong. Like, just the power of Facebook alone gets an insane amount off the streets before we get all the crap.
If you can get those comparables to us as soon as you can, I think that'll help us a lot.
Well, again, like comparables as in like, you want us to do the work of
Just find out what they're doing in their counties.
the
Yeah, I see.
ratio of staff, is that what you,
I would like to see what they're paying, if they have full-time staff, part-time staff,
How
what they're
many?
paying them.
Yeah.
okay, and so just like Blair, and did you say another?
I wouldn't go to Blair.
No,
Blair's
I
not-
didn't say any of the southwest Iowa counties.
Okay.
They're similar to us, yeah. Fremont, Mills, Page,
Does Monona County even have a,
I'm not sure.
I don't know,
Monona
Monona.
County doesn't.
No, I don't think
They
so.
had a girl that was running it out of her house.
Yeah, and I think Mills County is just hooves and paws, and they don't have placements for any, they don't have any cat programs, it's horses, and she can do some dogs, but just a handful, not a lot, but yeah.
And Harlan closed not that long ago.
Yeah, I don't think
a couple years
Shelby
ago.
County has one.
No.
Yeah, if you let us
I
know,
don't think
that'd
Shelby
be great.
has anything.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, and I will drop off all your new dogs and cats in your car.
In a little basket with a bow on it.
Now we have fiscal year 27 budget discussions.
Brian, can I say one thing?
Not
If you look
until,
at-
not until public comment.
Okay.
so.
It was regarding that, though.
Okay. Would you like spreadsheets?
Todd, did you have bank reconciliation you want to do first?
Whatever,
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
let's hammer that. All right. This will be for January, it's 3,297.73. There's some bills in there, but no paid. And the bottom line is perfect.
You just need me to sign that front page that you've done it.
Does Logan have one of our dogs? Logan?
Lieber?
Yeah.
No, it's Bo Peschel. He's got the killer.
See that?
yeah.
Well, Logan's got one too, it's a killer.
That's not a county dog.
Logan has one that's a killer.
He keeps eyeing my mother-in-law's dog, it's a little bitty one, like a Scooby snack over there.
Draco almost got to eat the other day. They had a pursuit that ended up in Crawford. They needed a dog, and
Really?
the guy's really lucky eating it. Need to see it, John? Yep, thank you.
All right, Megan, what do you got for us here?
Well, I don't have a lot on budget. Do you have any questions? Anything you need to go over?
We have Humane Society now to consider. Other than that, the only thing left on the budget is insurance and salaries, correct?
I had a question regarding, and I talked to Thad this morning about conservation, because we didn't go back line by line. You guys said you didn't want to.
Well, you should, because you're on the board. You should go line by line.
Well, and I did. I compared, Megan sent me the deals and I printed them off. And I had a couple concerns. We had asked Thad to go down to 45,000 on his electrical bill. And when Megan sent me, and he went down to 43,000, I've got it here, 43,750, so he went a little actually below. But my concern is, electric bill isn't something that you can't pay. So if he gets to May and he's already reached his 43,150 bucks, are we gonna say, oh, we're not gonna give you any more money? You can't pay your light bill?
He's gonna have to figure out where he's gonna pull that from in the budget.
Yeah,
Right,
that's the first thing he has to do.
but my concern is, and the other thing that he cut, and we had talked about it, is he cut 10,000 out of his sales expenditures for the Welcome Center. Well, that's the same deal. Are we gonna get to, you know, March, April next year, and they don't have any money in the budget for buying items for the Welcome Center? Are you gonna just say, oh, well, you just can't buy anything else until after June 30th?
We're gonna have to figure it out.
Well, that's, once again, in that particular case, if he needs to buy more, then he will look at income on the other side to balance it out. So I'm not too concerned about that.
The revenue side will support it.
Right,
So if there is a budget amendment, it'll balance.
yeah.
It should balance positive, but the revenue should be more than what the expenditure.
Imagine
I
it would
looked
be-
at the have to pay items also, but you guys allowed departments to cut gas, which, how are departments gonna function without gas? So that would be the same, if you're saying that they can't cut electric, then departments shouldn't be able to cut gas either.
Maybe
Those
he's
are
looking
have
at
to
ways to be
have.
more efficient with his electricity.
Right. Well, he's talking about solar panels. I don't, you're looking for grants on that.
Yes.
But, I mean, this is a budget management by them. I mean, if they get, just like we did the health department, it was a few years ago, we had to come back and do a budget amendment on them for that parking lot. That's just something that came up. But once again, I kind of agree with Brian, the what if things, you know.
Yeah. I just wanted to point it out, because there are items, unlike the other departments, there are items in his budget that he could pull from his trust. And so, on the things that you have to pay, I mean, you don't have to buy more items, I guess, but those aren't things that he can pull from his trust. The electric bill and sales items for the Welcome Center aren't items that he can pull the money from his trust money. There are some items in his budget that he could pull money from the trust. So I would be more comfortable if he put, you know, at least the electric bill and the sales items for the Welcome Center back to a, you know, even if he just got 5,000 from sales items instead of 10, because the other thing that we didn't change with him, he cut 5,000 out of the siding for the building at the Welcome Center. He had 10,000 for the building at the Welcome Center, and he cut it back to 5,000. Well, we made the sheriff's office cut out their 25,000 for their building.
We just moved that.
Yeah, that was
We
moved into
moved
a
it to capital projects,
Yeah.
right.
It's still gonna get done.
But
yeah.
the siding for the Welcome Center, I do believe, I'd have to check, but I do believe that's money that he could take out of the trust, because it's fixing things at the Welcome Center, so that's my concern. I guess I would like to see, I would rather see the money come from out of that.
Well, the siding should all come out of the trust.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is,
We cut that, didn't we?
he only cut it 5,000 instead of 10. No, we told him he could cut his budget, we weren't gonna go line by line, but
Yeah, we did the total amount. He must have shuffled it.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know how
it.
he justified every line item with us.
not the last time, this
We did it
27,000.
once. And
Right,
then from then on, all I care about is the bottom line. How they manage their budget above that bottom line at this point is up to the department heads.
but we should care about the bottom line, because they're gonna come back with an adjustment.
That's all I'm
That's what
caring
I
about,
meant.
is the bottom line at this point. They've justified that they need that line item. And we said, yes, we agree that that line item should be there. Now, all we're concerned about is the bottom.
So if
They
they
can
come
manage
back,
it, how they manage their budget is up to them.
if they
That's
come
their
back with an
responsibility.
amendment
Well, no,
to pay the
they,
electric bill,
That's
Then they'll have
on the
to-
bottom line.
yeah.
If he wants an amendment to move money from this line item to this line item, I don't have an issue with that, as long as it doesn't affect that bottom line.
but he can't move money from the trust, then you let the
It has
trust.
nothing to do with the trust.
Trust isn't controlled by us.
No.
Right, I know it's not, that's the thing, is then he can't move money from that, we can't make him move money from the trust to pay for these things, because you can't.
It's his responsibility to manage that budget. The tax dollars that we have approved,
It's, we are the bottom line though, we are the final say in,
are.
in
Yeah, I don't
where they
disagree with that.
cut money from. I
don't disagree with that.
foresee them coming back and wanting an amendment, and we end up paying out more money.
We'll have to look at that amendment when it comes. The only reason we approved David's that time, he made us aware early on that there might be, because all of a sudden this parking lot water thing came up or whatever it was. And it did happen, and so we did a budget amendment. We took the money from somewhere else, actually. We took into your money and moved it back over there to cover it.
Maybe not our reserves.
We didn't, that's right, you're right, you're right.
So
But
then
that's
when
something
they
you
come-
could help.
When they come back in March of next year and say, we don't have any money in our expenditure budget for the buying items for the Welcome Center, are we gonna say, okay, well, too bad, you just can't buy anything else till June 30th?
Do you think they'll come back and say, hey, I got $20,000 left? You think
So
they'll do
Thad
that?
brought that
This is
scenario up
what-
to me, and I told him, you know, if you have $10,000 more in revenue, that would offset it, and that's how you show that difference.
Okay,
Which, not that you have to approve it, but you should be able to see that difference and then decide
I
whether you're
mean,
gonna approve it or
budget
not.
amendments for unique things, catastrophic things, stuff like that. They're gonna be judged on how they manage this budget. And I think, you know, if we have any surprises, it happens all the time, guys. But I'd rather have the money over here, because having run a government budget, oh, I got $20,000 left, I better get this spent. I'd rather not do that. Unnecessary spending, what ifs?
Right.
okay.
And when if I have to go back to ask for more, I better be able to justify it.
Absolutely.
And electric bill, I'd probably say pay it.
Or find a place in that budget to pull it from.
Yes.
That's our responsibility to manage that budget. Megan, what do you have for us?
All I have is information on salaries. Lot of spreadsheets. So this first one is a $5,000 increase for the sheriff and a 2% increase for everyone else. And then the 120 for Sarah, which this is Tony's requested scenario.
That one there? Or this one here?
What you have
Okay.
here is what Tony requested. So if you go down, you can see that the top, so the yellow numbers highlighted, those are the increases. So out of general basic for full-time people, that would cost us an additional $105,610. And if you flip it over, the general basic part-time people, these are kind of estimates based off of part-time hours that they worked last year, because they're variable
Are
employees.
these the increases here?
Yeah, the yellow
Okay.
numbers are the increases, so the very bottom line, 5,213, that's your part-time people.
13?
47.
37, yeah. So you're looking at approximately $121,000 increase out of your general basic.
Okay.
Then your next two line items, so, a portion of my salary and Michelle's salary come out of general supplemental, and then all of the FICA and IFRS for general basic come out of general supplemental. So all those numbers together, you have $22,010. So that's for the FICA, IFRS increases out of general basic and general supplemental.
Okay.
Okay. Then your next line item is rural basic, which is 3 deputies, Matt Fitt's salary, and then a portion of the weed commissioner. So 6,973 for salary, and then the FICA and IFRS. Back page, the top line, that's, roads department, coming out of 20,000. So the 15,447 is what would be the total coming out of the roads department access.
What is the 15,000?
It's the very last line item, it's those three lines
All
added
across.
together, yeah,
Okay.
since all three of those come out of the same fund.
So what,
So that's if you did a $5,000, so you can see the amount of the increase in, so the fourth column over is their current 2026 salary, fourth is their 2027 salary, and then the amount of the increase, what percent that is, and then the FICA and IFRS difference.
how's it,
So current balances set to be used sit at, 111,333 for general basic. So you could cover it. You could cover any of the scenarios essentially that
Okay.
are presented, it's just how much you want to. And you're not making a decision on this today, these are just the scenarios.
And
you guys
then,
asked for.
do you have any preliminary levy numbers yet?
The same as last week,
Okay,
yeah.
no effect on that.
No effect on the levy, the levy rates that I gave you last week fit within this budget.
Okay.
So this was 5,000 for the sheriff, 120,000 for the attorney, and 2% for everybody else?
For all other people, except the 4 tied to the sheriff there,
Right,
they give the 5,000. Or
a percentage.
percentage of it.
Okay, did you run?
Yeah, I have all the others too, but, so. Next is, this is the one that Rebecca requested, and I couldn't remember, you guys went back and forth, so I'm sorry if this is incorrect. It's the 5,000 for the sheriff, I've still left Sarah at 120, I couldn't remember if that's what you were up in the air, so I read it that way, that's an easy one to determine whether, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing's tied to that, so, and then 50 cents for all other employees. So your increases are in yellow. So 99,295 out of general supplemental for full-time, or general basic for full-time, and 5,486 for, part-time.
What was that again for general basic, for
It's
full-time?
that yellow number right there, yeah, 99,000, or 9,295. The yellow numbers are the increases,
Okay,
so you see slight changes between those. And then, like 3/4 of the way over, you have your percent increase, so you can see the percentage of what the 50 cents would be for each employee. Your general basic goes down, or general supplemental goes down slightly, just because your FICA and IFRS are slightly less on this scenario. Rural goes down some, about $2,000. Just because you do have a few higher paid people out of there, so the 2% versus the 50 cents is quite a bit. And then, secondary roads goes down about $3,000. And also, all of these scenarios have, John Rasmussen at 153,000.
that's up 3,000.
That's up 3,000.
2%.
It's exactly 2%.
Yeah.
So on your decent one, I just left in there. Okay,
Okay, go ahead, what were you gonna do next?
I have the next one.
Okay.
This is Brian's scenario. So this is 2% across the board for everybody with 120 for the attorney. Okay, so this is, this is the cheapest option.
Say that a little louder.
This is 94,202. So your middle column shows the amount of increase, and then everybody's percent is right at 2%. Except for Sarah. Then general basic is at 19,758. Or general supplemental, sorry. Rural basic is the 6,973, which is back up from the 50 cents. that one is higher than on the 50-cent one. I'll say it's the cheapest for the general basic option. Then roads is back up to 14,193. And then you have the 5,237 out of general basic for your budget. So,
Yeah, roads is up 3,000.
yeah, roads from Tony's and Brian's is the same. The only thing that differs from the Tony Brian situation is the
sheriff.
sheriff, so that affects the 0-1,000 fund.
I thought we,
Because Brian requested it at 2%, and then you requested it at 5,000.
I thought that's why I got 8 cents off of that, yeah. the 5
Yeah.
cents. Where'd that come up?
I didn't carry my 8 cents from, I'll make sure he gets his 8 cents.
Okay.
So, you guys can look those over, you're not making decisions on them today or anything, and if they're, if you're not happy with these, I can run more. The way I have the budget numbers sitting currently is I took the highest, so if, like, on the 50 cents per hour, it benefits essentially anybody making 52,900 or 30 less. So I gave them the 50 cents an hour, and then everybody above that, I give them the 2%, and then I gave Sarah the 120 and Brandon the 126.96, which is the $5,000 increase. And plug those numbers in, so that's the highest that anybody would be, and that's how I determined the
Now-
maximum amount that I would need.
Here's a question I had. I'm just looking at one.
So that's the hybrid option.
This is giving everybody the maximum amount they could possibly get. That's what I use to determine my max levy
So
rate.
I've talked to some people about your hybrid option that you and I had a conversation about, where anybody below one
The one I
threshold.
told you was very confusing.
Yes,
Okay.
and a lot of people are in favor of that.
What's that one, Brian, which one?
What
If
she-
you're-
It's not one of these, it's one.
Not one that I could,
If you're below this threshold,
The 52,000,
yeah, you get 50 cents an hour, not the 2%.
okay.
If you're above that threshold, you get 2%.
it essentially gives everybody the maximum.
2%.
No, it gives everybody the maximum they could possibly get.
The ones below 52,000 aren't getting a 50-cent salary increase.
On
At 2%.
On a 2% raise. But on a 50 cent, your people above 53,000 are not getting a 2% raise. So it combines the two. I use that to determine
However,
essentially
that's the most
worst.
expensive.
Yes. Because
So-
it gives everybody the most.
So did you look at Doug Reese's email
Yes.
and the comparables? But
Yeah, but he didn't compare the right counties. I wanted,
Our range is 103 to 160. As long as we're within that range, we're okay.
that's what I,
where did you come up with the 103?
that's the lowest
Well,
bid.
intentionally, I think Crawford and Monona counties were left off of it. So if you start using counties in this area as well as counties our size, and use all of those comparables and not cherry pick, then you come up with 103 for your bottom number and 160 still for your top number.
So,
I feel like this is a conversation for the next agenda item.
okay,
Well, this was salary.
well, this is
discussion.
salary.
Yeah,
We're
we're
I
talking
mean,
about
they kind of run
salaries.
together.
Yeah, no, I moved on to the next agenda item, sorry.
Perfect. All right.
Unless there was a budget question.
So, based on Doug's comparables, it's obvious that our sheriff falls well below the state county average for counties with similar population.
But using that one he had Kossuth and Hamilton. I can't speak for Kossuth, I grew up in Hamilton, I talked to the sheriff up there, he's a friend of mine. It's not comparable to what we have here. He should have compared Mills and Monona and the counties surrounding us. And it's just a different market up there, it's a different tax base up there.
Right, but the other thing is, our sheriff oversees multiple critical functions.
They do up there too, at least Hamilton does. He's got the 911, he's got the dog catcher, he's got,
Yeah, and I emailed Doug back and asked him for a benefit package as well,
yes.
and I haven't received anything on that.
Yeah, I agree with you, last time I'm going up 5,000, I thought that was fair, for sure. That keeps us ahead of one of those groups and behind one of those groups. And Cassuth, yeah, and Cassuth is twice, Cassuth is
It's a
twice as
double
big.
county,
It's a double.
yes.
It's twice as big as this county.
But he oversees, okay, we put the 911 operations center on the sheriff, manages the jail, he has supervision of the K-9 unit
Mhm.
with 2 dogs and their handlers. And they're in charge of the city of Logan. And deputies within his department contribute to community outreach, they do DARE, they do Harrison County Crime Stoppers. They also offer concealed carry classes, free to the public. They handle they have handled their own IT, and they're known for supporting other departments in the county. Our sheriff's impact,
When I'm looking at this, we pay all of these people. The sheriff isn't doing all of that work, these people are doing that work.
right, his department, he oversees 33 people. Many of our deputies have served a lot of years. His leadership, he has strong leadership. I think that according to Doug's letter, I don't know if you got the letter that, from the county, or the Attorney General
Yes.
regarding Wayne County and Ringgold County. Basically, that we have to look at those comparables, and we are supposed to compare to police chiefs of towns or cities with the same population as Harrison County. And that would, those comparables would put us between 126 and 160,000. $5,000 raise is only, what did we say it was gonna get Brandon up to?
126.96.
126?
$126.96.
That's with his PRP?
No, PRP is separate. That's an additional $3,693.
So it'd be 123.
124 or something, 200.
$120,696. His PRP is $36.39.
So it'd be 123 or 124, 200-ish.
Let me look at my other paper. This has Brandon at 115,696
Without PRP, correct.
without PRP.
So you add 5,000 to that, that's 120,696. You add 3,639, you get 1,200, 124,000.
I'd like to see him closer to 126.
So, going from a 2% raise with the sheriff to a $5,000 raise with the sheriff is a difference of $7,532.80, counting FICA and IFRS.
Not counting the people tied to us.
That's counting, that's the
It's
entire,
counting, okay.
yes, that's all of that.
Okay, and then, so to give him 5,000, I guess my other thought was, we're giving Sarah a $19,000 raise. But yet we only want to give Brandon a $5,000 raise. And you're not willing to
This
change.
isn't the first day we've had this conversation.
I know.
I know.
When we're looking at comparable, you're trying to compare two people.
Yeah, you
We're
can't,
doing different jobs.
I'm looking at the amount that you, but are you firm with your 120,000? If you're firm with your 120,000
I
for
am.
Sarah, then there's no point in me talking about that.
I am firm with that.
mine too.
Okay,
And I'm firm on my 2% for the sheriff. Now, if you two decide that, hey, Brian's wrong, we wanna go this way, that's how the board works. We're a board. It's the majority of the board is what makes the decision.
well, I'm not okay with the hybrid if we're going to go with, still gonna go with 2% for, those above, you know, if we're gonna do it specific to, the dollar amount, 50 cents below and
Yeah,
2%
my favorite
above.
scenario is the one that I presented, obviously.
I would like to see,
The only difference I can see here, Brian, between like yours and mine is the sheriff's salary.
Yes.
But, so that creates an almost $11,000 difference in your general basic,
Between,
yours and Brian's.
I held 7,500.
Should be from 105,610 to 94,202.
I took over to clearly right, Megan, because I included the FICA and IFRS.
Oh,
So
well, you can't do that
125.
because those come out
Can't
of
do
different
that.
funds.
But it's the overall difference.
Yeah, but they come out of two different funds, so it's different.
well, I've got, oh, I see, the difference between yours and mine is that the deputies are pulled up more.
Right, so your deputy, you're
The-
getting a 4.3 and a
Rather than that.
4.1 for,
Yeah, and my decision isn't anything performance-based, it's budgetary-based.
I got a lot of calls. Or people talking to me, I should say, saying they feel like our sheriff is very, very underpaid.
I think everybody's underpaid.
Yeah. I
You
do.
can't bring everybody up.
Well, I don't necessarily
You know
know
what?
everybody's underpaid, but
We want to be as fair as we can, you know, with what we have.
I'm
I
with.
mean, we're talking about, between the three of us, not a lot of difference in between.
Well, basically the question is either the percentage or the 50 cents an hour.
When you look at one, you could, yeah. See what the difference would be. Okay, between yours and mine,
so about $6,000.
it's $90 between one of the middle people, between the 50 cents and the 2%. Let me go down to 2%, I need to do, hold on.
So if you go to the 2%, if you go to the percent increase
Yeah.
on Rebecca's sheet, you can see that it switches on somebody who makes currently $51,886.
So yours was 50%, right?
50 cents.
No, 50 cents.
50 cents.
50 cents,
Yeah,
okay.
60%, that's what we're going with.
So,
Mine was
50%.
120 for Sarah, 5
5 for Brandon.
Brandon.
And then percent for the deputies, and then essentially 1,044 for everybody else.
If I go down here
Just 50
to
cents.
somebody on the lower side of that line, 52,000, between me and Rebecca is $7.
Which ones are you looking at?
I'm looking at Danielle Sturts.
Yeah, so she's the break point.
Yeah, she's the break point.
Barely, because she's at 2.012.
Yeah. Between mine and Brian's,
Should be the same between
Same.
you and Brian.
yeah. So,
The further down you go, the bigger your difference is gonna be, so like,
Yeah, I pulled Christie Hildreth, and there's about $150 difference between,
yeah, your
Yeah.
biggest person is about $272. That's your lowest paid person, that's the biggest difference.
You wanted the 2%.
Yes.
straight across.
The only difference you and I have is on the sheriff's side.
Correct.
You can't watch Facebook in here, okay?
I like how his face turned red immediately.
Yeah. Okay, look at the backside. Same on the backside for roads.
And your part-timers don't really make a huge difference
No.
across any of them. Because most of them are the lower paid people. Your two that it affects the most would be Madeline, Bruno, and Tammy Hutchinson. But they are part-time, so we were just guessing, I just guessed on hours. But it doesn't really.
Is Claire Palmer a jailer?
She is a homemaker.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, you guys can look these over. Is there
Good.
anything else you wanna see?
Now we have to contact the lobbyists.
Contact who?
The lobbyists, I can call the lobbyists.
So I will go through and this is what the numbers I'll be publishing with are
Take the highest.
the essentially worst case budget scenario.
Yep.
And that will fall within the budget rates.
Who are we gonna decide this?
We have to wait until after the public hearing.
Yeah, so
It's a
you're-
compensation.
And that's not till the 20.
March 26th.
Okay.
And then we'll set them, hopefully, March 26th. I'll publish my final budget then, and we'll have our hearings, our final hearing, hopefully, April 16th, maybe?
What our final decision, after that first public hearing, we can say this is what we want salaries to be. Those salaries have to be posted before the second public hearing.
Okay.
And then, we'll have insurance rates by then, so we can get a hard number on our supplemental.
And for clarification, for those that are here today, that compensation board recommendation is a recommendation. That is not set in stone.
We don't have to stick them all together. either.
Correct.
Can go different ways.
So when is the, April 30th
Is the deadline.
is the deadline? But if we have our second public hearing April 16th, and we want to change anything,
You can't change,
Once it
we
gets
won't be
public
able to.
hearing.
You won't be able to go back up after that because you won't have enough time to publish again.
right, so why are we having it so late?
What do you mean so late? How can I have it any sooner? If my first one isn't until March 26th, by the time I publish and
10 more days.
And
I have
that's
to wait at
state,
least 10 days.
that's state code that we can't have it till after the 25th?
I don't know the exact date, but I can't, my mailings have to be out by the 15th.
15th of March?
Because the cities don't have to have it to me until the 5th, the cities and schools.
5th of April,
No, 5th of March.
March. Okay.
They have their proposals to me, then I have to put it all together and mail it out. And then I have to publish for at least 10 days. Hold a public hearing, publish again for at least 10 days. And if we don't have our meeting till the 26th, it won't go in the paper until at least April 1st.
So that would be April.
11th at the absolute earliest, which is a Saturday.
Why do they make us wait so long?
Not my choice.
Uh,
They give you a very tight time frame. So yeah, no, if we decide we wanna go up, you essentially have
Start over.
to start over and you won't get it in on time.
So you can go down, you just can't go up.
Right.
We all know that.
So on April 16th, that's why last year when we went up after the first public hearing, I had to take it out of reserves because I didn't have time to publish. So we're publishing worst case scenario so that we don't have to do that. So we publish at the highest levy rates. And then on March 26th, we hopefully come back and republish. Because what we publish on March 26th is, or after March 26th is what we're done. That's,
Because it's so late.
yeah, I can't republish again.
I think we need to look at the deadlines and see if what the deadline actually is, if there's any way to have it any sooner.
Even if I had it sooner, there's no way to republish two more times. And the only reason to republish would be is if you are gonna go up.
Okay.
If you want to go up, we can go up now.
No, don't wanna go up.
Then there's no reason to, we would need to republish if we're not going up.
Okay.
Good?
I'm good, I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Megan, excellent job on this. I'm glad you know how to do Excel. Now, this printer worked great.
It's not my printer. Well, that one is my printer, but I paid to print on that one.
All right, we have minutes from February 5th.
Adjusted minutes.
Yep.
Yep, thanks for doing that, Megan. I make a motion to approve the minutes from February, the amended minutes from February.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have February 12th, regular meeting.
Move to approve the February 12th minutes.
We got those?
Yeah.
She
She
sent
emailed them yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, must not come through on mine. You have it? My computer is not happy camper.
You can't keep them for 15 years. Rebecca.
It's a borrowed one. So. Did you make the motion?
Yes.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then the February 12th with the union negotiations, Tony, you weren't here for that one.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the union negotiation.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Opposed? Motion carries. Have you got anything else?
Nope.
Golden Hills this afternoon.
Did you hear that?
We got Republican meeting tonight, that agenda has been posted.
I plan to be there, try to be there.
That did get posted.
Yeah, I called Michelle yesterday.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I saw it.
Because
Yeah, I saw it.
okay.
I got it.
The board will now allow up to 30 minutes for comments from the public. The board will call speakers in order in which they have signed up on the form provided. Each speaker is limited to no more than 3 minutes for speaking and must first state his or her name for the record. Comments should be directed to the board as a whole and should refrain from personal attacks or from addressing individual employees or citizens. Comments should also be limited to one topic. Detailed information about the public comment policy is available upon request. First, we have Sherry.
Will you come around or just?
Yeah, sure. Just make
Okay,
sure we
so-
can hear you.
3 things, real quick. Harrison County is #1 in breast cancer. That was the latest release. Number 2, with the Humane Society, when you figure 20 years of no rate increase or anything, we were told it was 1075. And we hassled last week at a meeting saying, let's try for 5, because 1075 is way out of range. So yesterday I was at the Capitol all day, as usual. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. IUC meeting first and then the Capitol. So an update, Clemish's bill appears to be dead. Charlie Thompson, House of Representatives, found 20 different things that looked illegal or unconstitutional. So that bill appears to be dead. And his bill was 13 pages long, and he took the House file 2104, which could have been a page, but the way the format is, had to be 2 pages and 1 paragraph bill, to 13 pages with Clemish's bill. We are still trying. We are still trying. At this point, with the precedents that the IUC set, if you've got land, you should be very worried. Because if there's an economic development project and they want your land, they're gonna get it. Because the precedent's already been set. So, do you have any questions on the pipeline? Because I'll be glad to answer them.
That's why I thank you for staying on top of it.
Yeah, well, it's my grandmother's
I
land,
know.
126 years in her family, so, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brittany, I think she might have been here with Humane Society.
Humane Society,
Yeah.
yeah.
Paul. We never hear from Paul.
We
We're
never
gonna
hear
his
from
voice.
Paul.
Well, I was a little upset when I seen that on Facebook last week, when they said you're giving county attorney a $19,000 raise. But if you figure it at $120,000 a year, divide that by the weeks, and divide it by the hours she puts in, compared to any other lawyer, which range in Iowa from $450 to $100, she's on the low end of the stick. So giving her that much money, it sounds like a lot of money. I think the same thing was on the sheriff, a lot of money, because we gave him a raise last year, big one. So she's really not out of range. That's all I got to say.
Thanks, Paul. Michelle.
Oh, there's Michelle.
Michelle Sturts. Yes, I'm back here. So being back here, again, one of my requests is, again, where are we at on microphones? Because there was at least 7 people standing, and we cannot hear back here. I know it's been I've asked at least 3 or 4 times, and I'm not sure where you're at with microphones. So that's one of my comments. The other thing is regarding your budgets. Having done budgets, I understand how it works. You know, you have departments that most of the time they need to cut. And then the other one you're dealing with is salaries. That, you know, everybody wants a raise. I understand how that works. But my question is on these special requests. I know that you've had at least 4 people in that have asked for money that don't fit in those categories. And I just wondered, do you look at all those at the end? Do you set a date when any special requests would come through, and do you look at them all fairly? I mean, I don't know how you look at them and determine their needs, you know. I think one, if I can think of it, isn't really Harrison County, but they support Harrison County. The other 2, and then I can't remember that third one, is something with health, something like that. Anyway, so I just wondered how you determine those, is my question. Just sometime if you...
Could you give me just some ideas on that after the meeting, and so I can look into that and see if I can give you an answer?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I wondered if you could maybe talk about, you know, just trying to be transparent, how you do the special requests. Just because, you know, you've had Golden Hills that wanted so much money, you've had the Fair Board want so much money, and now today the Humane Society, and then you had one other one, and it seems like, I can't remember what that one was. It was something health related though. And so I just wonder if you look at all those, and then if you have a date, because are you still going to get more that come in and want something else? So that's my question, and just to, you know, how you address those things is just a question. So thank you.
As far as the date, I mean, we can answer that. It's pretty much, we're down to the wire as far as probably not gonna be able to even think about any after this.
But do you publish that? I mean, if somebody wanted to come in, do you have that? I don't know how that'll work. So it's just a question.
Okay.
Christina marked yes, but I think she left. Stephanie
That was the gal with Christina.
Okay.
Yeah.
She left.
and Marilyn.
I got nothing. Marilyn J. Menser, I am going to pass right now. I think that you guys did a great job of covering the bonuses. You had some awesome scenarios. And I agree with Paul in some respects. I don't know how you get people up and stay in budget's the problem. I mean, it is a problem. And the sheriff's department is underpaid by quite a stretch. That's my only comment.
Thank you. That's it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all for coming.